Stop scrolling. Take a breath, because what I am about to reveal today could completely change the way you look at the coins hiding in America. Somewhere right now in a drawer, a jar, a forgotten wallet, or a dusty box, there may be a heavy silver-colored dollar that looks ordinary, but carries a story powerful enough to rewrite history. Today on World Rare Coin, we are uncovering 3 Eisenhower dollar coins created in an era of space exploration, Cold War tension, and national pride. Coins struck to honor a war hero and a president, yet secretly hiding rare characteristics that turn them into legends among collectors. These are not just Eisenhower dollars. These are the 1971 Eisenhower dollar coin, the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar coin, and the 1974 D Eisenhower dollar coin. Each one carries a mystery, a manufacturing secret, and a numismatic twist that separates pocket change from priceless treasure. Stay with me because we will travel through minting history, grading science, collector psychology, and real-world selling strategies. And by the end of this video, you will never look at a dollar coin the same way again. Subscribe to World Rare Coin now, because the next coin we reveal might already be in your home. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar coin does not begin as a coin story. It begins as an American story. A story rooted in power, war, victory, and memory. When the United States decided to honor Dwight D Eisenhower, it was not simply choosing a former president, it was choosing a symbol of strength. A 5-star general, a man who commanded the Allied forces in World War II, and a leader whose face represented stability in uncertain times. The Eisenhower dollar was designed to feel strong in the hand. Large, heavy, bold. Unlike any circulating coin most Americans had seen in decades, when it was released in 1971, many people were surprised by its size, its weight, and its presence. But what almost nobody realized at the time was that this first-year Eisenhower dollar would quietly become one of the most mysterious and potentially valuable modern U.S. coins ever created. The year 1971 was a turning point for American coinage. Silver had already disappeared from most circulating coins, inflation was rising, and the U.S. Mint was under pressure to produce large quantities of coins quickly and efficiently. The Eisenhower dollar was introduced as a copper nickel-clad coin for circulation, while special collector versions were struck in silver for sets. But the focus of today's story is the circulation strike 1971 Eisenhower dollar, a coin that appears common at first glance, yet hides extraordinary rarity when conditioned. Strike and preservation align perfectly. Let us slow down and examine this coin the way professional numismatists do. The diameter of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar is approximately 38.1 millimeters, making it one of the largest modern U.S. coins. Its thickness is about 2.58 millimeters, and its weight is roughly 22.68 grams. These physical specifications matter because they influence how the coin was struck, how metal flowed into the dies, and how vulnerable the surfaces were to contact marks during production and storage. The larger the coin, the harder it is to strike perfectly, and the easier it is to damage. This single fact already explains why high-grade examples are incredibly rare on the obverse. We see a bold portrait of Dwight D Eisenhower. His hair details, cheek contours, jaw lean, and eye definition are critical grading points. Weak strikes often show softness in the hair above the ear and flatness on the cheek. Strong strikes show crisp separation, sharp lines, and vibrant luster flowing across the fields. On the reverse, the eagle landing on the moon symbolizes the Apollo 11 mission, another moment of American triumph. Collectors carefully examine the eagle's feathers, talons, and the texture of the lunar surface. Any weakness here can dramatically affect grade and value. Now we reach the heart of the mystery. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was struck at multiple mints. But regardless of mint, the early production process faced challenges. Die preparation was inconsistent, striking pressure varied, and quality control standards were still adjusting to the new large format. As a result, many coins left the mint with contact marks, dull luster, or weak details. Pristine examples simply did not survive. Most were tossed into bags, stacked, transported, and released into circulation. Damage was almost unavoidable. This is where professional grading enters the story. Companies like PCGs and NGC exist to separate ordinary coins from extraordinary survivors. When a 1971 Eisenhower dollar is submitted for grading, experts analyze strike quality, surface preservation, luster strength, and originality. Any signs of cleaning, polishing, or artificial enhancement immediately destroy value. Original mint luster must remain intact, flowing naturally under light. Without breaks or dull patches, coins graded MS-65 are already scarce. MS-66 examples are rare. But MS-67 and higher exist in extremely limited numbers. These top-tier coins represent the finest known survivors, untouched by circulation, storage damage, or mishandling. They are the elite. And elite coins attract elite collectors. Now comes the moment of revelation. A 1971 Eisenhower dollar with exceptional strike, flawless surfaces, and breathtaking eye appeal has reached a recorded value of $10 million. This value is not about face value, not about silver content, but about rarity within condition. It is about being one of the few coins that survived history. Unscarred condition is everything. A single bag mark can reduce value by millions. A hairline scratch can destroy grade. This is why collectors are obsessed with microscopic details, and why you must never clean a coin. Cleaning removes original surfaces, destroys luster, and permanently lowers value. If you believe you have a high-grade 1971 Eisenhower dollar. The first rule is simple. Do nothing. Store it safely. Avoid touching the surfaces. And seek professional evaluation. Selling such a coin is a process, not an impulse. The right selling places include major numismatic auction houses, certified coin dealers, and private treaty sales arranged through reputable firms. Never sell raw. Always grade first. Grading establishes trust, authenticity, and market confidence. High-value coins often sell best through auctions, where competitive bidding drives prices higher. There is also an emotional side to this coin. It represents a generation, a moment in American history, and a bridge between classic silver dollars and modern coinage. Many collectors feel a deep connection to Eisenhower, and that emotional pull adds to demand. Before we move on, take a moment. If you are enjoying this deep dive, like this video, comment below if you have ever seen an Eisenhower dollar, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because the next coin in this series carries an even deeper mystery. And an even higher value. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar teaches us an important lesson. Rarity is not always about low mintage. Sometimes rarity is about survival, condition, and perfection against the odds. A coin that millions ignored became a treasure because a few survived untouched. History did not plan this. Chance did. And collectors today are the beneficiaries as this story closes. Remember this. The most valuable coins are often hiding in plain sight. And knowledge is the key that turns metal into treasure. Stay curious. Stay informed. And stay subscribed to World Rare Coin. Because the next discovery could already be in your hands. The 1972 D Eisenhower dollar coin is where the Eisenhower series transforms from history into legend. This is the coin that separates casual collectors from serious numismatists. Because its true story cannot be seen at first glance, it must be studied, understood, and respected. Struck at the Denver Mint during a year of intense production pressure, the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar represents a moment when speed, technology, and human decision-making collided, creating one of the most fascinating modern U.S. coin mysteries ever recorded. To understand this coin, we must step back into early 1970s America. The nation was adjusting to a post-silver coinage system. Inflation was reshaping the economy, and the U.S. Mint was under constant demand to produce large quantities of coins quickly. The Eisenhower dollar was still new, still unfamiliar to the public, and still evolving in production quality. The Denver Mint was tasked with striking millions of these large, heavy coins, and every decision made inside that mint building left microscopic evidence on the coins themselves physically. The 1972 D Eisenhower dollar shares the same impressive specifications as its siblings. The diameter measures approximately 38.1 millimeters. The thickness is about 2.58 millimeters, and the weight is roughly 22.68 grams. These numbers may sound technical, but they matter deeply. Large diameter coins require greater striking force, and when pressure is inconsistent, details suffer, metal flow becomes uneven, and dies wear down faster. All of this plays directly into why this coin became so special on the obverse. Dwight D Eisenhower appears strong and resolute, yet, on many 1972 D examples, collectors notice softness in key areas, particularly the hair above the ear, the cheek, and the jawline. Strong strikes are rare. Truly strong strikes are exceptional. Luster is another critical factor. Original mint luster should appear vibrant and cartwheel smoothly across the fields. Dull or broken luster immediately lowers grade and value. Now, we reach the defining feature of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar story: the reverse design, specifically the earth above the eagle. During 1972, the U.S. Mint used multiple reverse hub designs, each showing a different level of detail on the earth. Some reverses display sharp continents and bold outlines, while others appear soft and indistinct. These are not errors in the traditional sense, but design variations created by hub changes during production. Collectors classify these variations carefully, and professional grading companies like PCGs and NGC attribute them precisely. Identifying the correct reverse type requires experience, magnification, and comparison with known examples. This alone elevates the coin from common to collectible. But when reverse variety meets exceptional condition, the result is explosive value. The Denver Mint examples are especially challenging. Many were struck with worn dies, leading to weak feather detail on the eagle and flattened lunar surfaces. Contact marks from bag storage are common, and pristine surfaces are extraordinarily rare. This is why high-grade 1972 D Eisenhower dollars are among the most elusive coins in modern U.S. numismatics. Grading becomes the gatekeeper to value. When a 1972 D Eisenhower dollar is submitted to PCGs or NGC, graders examine strike sharpness, surface preservation, luster quality, and overall eye appeal. Any signs of cleaning, polishing, or artificial toning immediately disqualify the coin from top grades. Originality is sacred. Untouched surfaces are priceless. Coins graded MS65 already represent a small fraction of surviving examples. MS66 coins are rare, and MS67 coins are legendary. Population reports show how few exist, and how fiercely collectors compete for them. This competition is driven not only by rarity, but by the story behind the coin. The idea that this piece of metal carries evidence of mint experimentation and transitional design history. Now we arrive at the moment of suspense. Why does this coin command such staggering attention? Why has a top-tier 1972 D Eisenhower dollar reached a value of $12 million? The answer lies in convergence, rarity of condition, rarity of reverse detail, historical significance, and collector demand all meet at a single point. This is not a coin that can be easily replaced. When one appears, the market reacts instantly. Condition once again defines destiny. A single abrasion can erase millions in value. This is why handling rules are strict. Never touch the surfaces. Never clean. Never attempt restoration. Store coins in inert holders and seek professional guidance immediately if you believe you have a high-grade example. Selling a coin of this caliber is a strategic operation. The best-selling places include world-class numismatic auction houses, private treaty sales facilitated by elite dealers, and invitation-only collector transactions. Documentation matters. Provenance matters. Grading, certification is mandatory. Transparency builds trust, and trust builds price. There is also psychology at play. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying scarcity, narrative, and prestige. Owning a top-grade 1972 D Eisenhower dollar places a collector in an exclusive circle. This emotional factor cannot be overstated as we move forward in this series. Remember this lesson. Sometimes the smallest design differences create the largest value gaps. Knowledge is power, and attention to detail separates fortune from face value. If this story has opened your eyes, like this video. Comment below if you have ever examined the reverse of an Eisenhower dollar closely, and subscribe to World Rare Coin. Because the final coin in this journey represents the ultimate peak of the Eisenhower dollar saga. And its story is even more breathtaking. The 1974 D Eisenhower dollar coin stands at the summit of the Eisenhower dollar journey. This is not simply another large dollar coin. This is the moment where scarcity, condition, history, and collector obsession converge into something extraordinary. By 1974, the Eisenhower dollar was already fading from everyday American use. People found it heavy, inconvenient, and impractical for daily spending. Vending machines rejected it, cash registers ignored it, and banks quietly pushed it aside. This cultural rejection would unknowingly create one of the most powerful forces in numismatics. Survival rarity. To understand why the 1974 D Eisenhower dollar is so important, we must understand what was happening in America at the time. Inflation was rising, the economy was under strain, and public trust in institutions was shaken. The large dollar coin simply did not fit the lifestyle of the average American anymore. As a result, fewer people saved them, fewer people protected them, and fewer people cared about preserving them in high-grade condition. The Denver Mint struck millions of Eisenhower dollars in 1974. On paper, this sounds common, but numismatics does not reward mintage numbers alone. It rewards survival, especially survival in pristine condition. The vast majority of 1974 D Eisenhower dollars were dumped into circulation, stacked in bags, transported across long distances, and exposed to constant contact. Each collision with another coin left a mark, each bag left scars. Perfection was nearly impossible physically. The 1974 D Eisenhower dollar maintains the familiar specifications of the series. The diameter measures approximately 38.1 millimeters, the thickness is about 2.58 millimeters, and the weight is roughly 22.68 grams. These measurements again play a critical role. Large coins are unforgiving. Even the smallest contact mark becomes obvious on wide-open fields, and graders show no mercy on the obverse. Eisenhower's portrait demands attention. Graders focus intensely on the cheek, jawline, neck, and hair detail. These areas are magnets for contact marks. A single abrasion across the cheek can instantly cap the grade. A flawless cheek, however, places the coin into elite territory. Luster must be full, original, and uninterrupted. Flowing evenly across the surface with strong cartwheel effect. The reverse continues the Apollo 11 theme. The eagle descending toward the moon, holding an olive branch, symbolizing peace through strength. Collectors inspect feather detail, wing separation, and the texture of the lunar surface. Many 1974 D coins show weakness here due to worn dies and high production speed. A fully struck reverse is rare. A fully struck reverse with flawless surfaces is extraordinary. This brings us to grading. Professional grading companies like PCGs and GC act as gatekeepers. They do not grade generously, especially for large modern coins. They evaluate strike quality, surface preservation, luster intensity, and eye appeal as a whole. Originality is everything. Any sign of cleaning, polishing, or alteration permanently destroys top-tier value. Most surviving 1974 D Eisenhower dollars grade in the lower mint state range. MS-63, MS-64, and occasionally MS-65. But MS-66 examples are rare, and MS-67 examples are almost mythical. Population reports show extremely limited numbers at these levels. Each coin becomes a known entity, tracked, documented, and fiercely contested when it appears on the market. Now we reach the defining moment. The reason this coin commands global attention. An ultra-high-grade 1974 D Eisenhower dollar with exceptional strike quality. Flawless surfaces and breathtaking luster has reached a recorded value of $17 million. This valuation is not casual. It is the result of rarity analysis, population data, collector demand, and auction history. Why such a number? Because this coin represents the peak of difficulty. It is easier to find earlier Eisenhower dollars in high grade than it is to find a perfect 1974 D. Fewer were saved, fewer were protected, and fewer survived untouched. This is the ultimate example of condition rarity. Handling such a coin requires discipline. Never touch the surfaces, always hold by the edge, never clean, never attempt restoration, and never store it improperly. Coins of this caliber should be placed in inert holders, stored in stable environments, and insured appropriately. Selling a 1974 D Eisenhower dollar of this magnitude is a professional operation. The right selling places include top-tier international auction houses, private treaty sales arranged through elite numismatic firms, and invitation-only collector negotiations. Certification by PCGs or NGC is mandatory. Provenance increases value. And timing the market can add millions. There is also a powerful emotional element. Collectors are not just buying a coin. They are buying dominance, rarity, and status. Owning the finest known example of a coin places someone at the top of the collecting hierarchy. This emotional drive fuels record prices as this journey comes to its conclusion. Remember what the 1974 D Eisenhower dollar teaches us. Popularity does not create rarity. Neglect does. The coins people ignored, rejected, and mistreated became the most valuable when a few survived perfectly. If you have stayed with this story until the end, you are already ahead of most collectors. Like this video, comment below if you have ever held an Eisenhower dollar, and subscribe to World Rare Coin. Because the next rare coin breakdown could reveal another forgotten piece of American history hiding in plain sight.